The 10 objections. Objection number 3. How can God be good if there is evil in the world? The problem of evil. A question that puzzles many people is that if God is good, how is it possible to have evil in the world? The missing pieces. When we puzzle over this, we often miss that there are actually 3 parts to the problem. When we shake our fist at God, we usually ignore the other players in the scenario: Satan, mankind, and God. You see, there are 3 elements to the problem: Satan, the fallen angel, once known as Lucifer; mankind, the created beings that rejected God's principles; and God, all-loving, all-moral, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. Satan. When we think of evil, we rarely think of an actual evil agency operating in the world, causing and promoting evil, seeking to destroy all those things that God has made to be beautiful, honorable, and moral. But that is exactly what Satan does. He is deliberately trying to harm mankind so that he can get revenge on God, all the while pointing his finger at God, hiding his own involvement, and blaming God for what he has done and encouraged to be done. So what's up with Satan? The Bible tells us that he was originally the highest created being in God's government and stood at the left hand of God. Through jealousy of God's power and the rejection of God as a moral authority, Satan became the instigator and the initiator of a rebellion in heaven, in the very government of God. His basic argument was that God was self-serving and selfish, and therefore to serve God was morally wrong. He persuaded a third of the angels in God's government to reject God and rebel against him. They decided they wanted out. They wanted out of God's order of things. Mankind's origins, the fall of man. Mankind was created in the moral image of God and put in charge of the planet we call Earth. Mankind was given everything needed for a life of happiness, continual development, and fulfillment. Satan, however, made the argument that God would not be moral unless mankind was given freedom of choice to choose his principles that led to a life of selfish gain over God's principles that led to a life of serving others. And if he did not grant that, then God himself was selfish and not true to his own principles. God gave Satan access to mankind, and mankind chose to believe Satan, and they rebelled against God. This is known as the fall of man. Satan's seduction of mankind. But how did Satan even get a chance to present his viewpoint? God, who is by nature loving, created right at the beginning beings that had complete free will to choose him or reject him. One of those beings, Lucifer, who became Satan, exercised that free will and led a rebellion in heaven amongst the angelic hosts by lying about God and casting down God's character. God knew the truth about Satan's real character, but the rest of the universe were confused. So God had to allow Satan's character to be shown. So God gave Satan access to mankind through one tree in the Garden of Eden, and mankind, like a third of the angels, fell for Satan's deceptions. The problem. So God had a problem. He knew Satan's real character and intent, but knew that if he just destroyed Satan, that a seed of doubt would be cast in the minds of all of the intelligent created beings throughout the universe for eternity, and the harmony of the universe would be broken forever. The only choice he had, without wiping out creation completely, was to give Satan the opportunity to reveal his real nature and at the same time reveal God's nature. The test of character is only when all of creation could see the true characters of God and Satan and answer all of Satan's objections and arguments that God could finally act and destroy Satan, his fallen angels, and those that decided to live according to Satan's principles on earth, in a way that could be seen to be just and would not harm all of creation. To do this, God, in the form of the Son, Jesus Christ, came to earth. The Creator himself came to earth to win back his children by paying the price for their crimes and giving them an opportunity to choose to come back to him. In the garden there was a tree of choice that mankind sadly chose and rejected God's moral authority over them. On a lonely hill was placed a cross of choice where Jesus Christ paid the price for mankind's sin and gave them opportunity to choose God. So why is there evil in the world? Because Satan and mankind, through determined self-seeking, through ignoring and disobeying God's moral law, keep introducing it. Imagine a world where everyone kept God's 10 Commandments. There would be no evil. Satan would be denied influence over humanity, and mankind would be loving and respectful to each other, working together for the good of mankind. If we have ever lied, stole, committed adultery, dishonored our parents, treated another individual badly, lived according to the influence of evil angels, then we have brought evil into the world. We have contributed to the very thing we are blaming God for. So the real question God is asking us is, why is mankind so insistent on being evil? Why will they not return to God and allow God to use them to bring good into the world, to be a source of moral inspiration to the rest of mankind? Why are they so insistent on hurting each other whilst not accepting their own guilt? Why does mankind allow evil to exist in their own hearts and actions?